Hi, it's David here with Futures Trading. I'd like to welcome you to the channel. I gave you some information about 3 days ago, and I told you, can the NQ go higher in 3 days? I told you I'll come back on Thursday if they're able to make it. We have been tracking this actually a couple weeks ago as well. I'll give you a chance to take a look at what that is. But in 3 days, and it's Thursday, so we're going to take a look at that. And if you're new to the channel, I got loads of information for you. I'm going to try to go over some of that real time, but we're going to dial down to a 15-second chart for brevity's sake. All right, so universal threshold. This is how far the live candle will pull back before resuming. And it's important. All right. So universal price action trend, you just need to be able to count to 10 in order to get this to work. And then that price action method, I use the majority principle, which states that the minority is compelled to follow. There's three different ways that'll show up on the chart. And I'm going to show you what it looks like, that universal chart scale. So I teach you how to use your hard right edge to know where price can become cyclical without having to look left. All right. That's important. So let me give you this free information. I'm going to read the chart to you for a little bit. We had the price activity here 3 days ago. And this is the range chart, and you can use these range times. They're very robust. I must admit, they're really, really simple to go with. Just try to keep them above the center or beneath the center of the range and just take that direction. If you have the indicator suite, I told you guys in the last video, you can just add this bar color to whatever chart you would want. It's still the majority. All right. I just put a little information there. It's called the move away. So it's in the indicator suite. If you do not have it, just hit the download link that you already have, and it should be available for you. And it's going to try to capture it at places where it's most significant. All right. So clearly it's in this run up, as I said in the last video, but it was down here in that bottom. You can see that green coming in as they move to the high. But here's those range times. All right. And you can use your chart scale. Again, you can use the center of the chart. If we can stay above the center of the chart, let's see if it can go up. If we can stay above the upper half of the chart, let's see it can go up. All right. It's very simple. All right. So let's scroll forward and kind of get an idea of what this looks like. And then we're going to take a look at that hourly. And I'm gonna show you what we've been doing. All right, so just try to keep up with what it's doing. The blue. All right, so if you're seeing the blue, that's our block indicator. You got to look in your maps for it if you already have the indicator suite, and that's important too. The moment the bar closed, that comes on. All right, just let you know that there's some activity there. All right, so let me scroll through this just a bit, and then we're going to read the real time after looking at that hourly chart. For all of those that's new and you would like to learn how to read price without any indicators, I'm going to show you how to do just that. All right, so this is where we're at currently. So we're close to that high. Again, you can use those range times. Here's that hourly. Now, if you've been following this with me for the last couple of weeks, price was here, and we're going to take a look at where they're at currently. Price was here. And of course, they had a two back here. And again, this is price action information. I told you guys that they can get these twos. They kind of jumped up, hit that one, came down and get this one. They had one on the daily, but they didn't want to make it. And I told you guys there's a good chance they're not going to make that and they would go higher. And I came back and I told you, yes, they went higher. All right. And they were up here. And I said, yeah, they should get at least that far. What does that look like? I'm going to show you that now. So this is what that looked like. And I told you that they would end up here. All right. And they made it. All right. So now I told you within 3 days, it's important if we can go higher in the next 3 days. Well, on that day, price was here. All right. They took the little dive and now they're back up here. Okay. And that was 3 days ago. So now we're about to make that new high. And so I'm back to let you know that here's that trend. Here's the center of that trend. That too is down here. They dropped, but they just didn't want to make it. And I did tell you, if they get this, there's a good chance, just a good chance, that they will get the one on the daily. All right, so just kind of keep that in mind. Should they make it down here, you may have something. You may have something available for you down here a little bit lower. All right, just want to tell you that. But it's Thursday, and yes, they're about to make the new high, and I told you I'll be back. All right, so now let's read the real time. Again, this is the simple information that you're looking for on any chart. Any chart. It's only three ways majority will show up on your chart. Right now is indicating to the upside. I think it can come back through here and then maybe go back up. All right, but it's going to go back up. All right, clearly. I don't think it's going to hold this high at all. So it should do this while I'm up here. I'm only going to be up here for a few minutes. All right, but I don't like what's here. They should be able to come down right into this just a little bit more and then maybe go. If not, yeah, they'll take off right now. But this is important. All right. So this is your live candle. This is the live candle moving up and down. You just want price to move into that wick zone. All right. This is how far the live bar will retrace. You want it to move into that and then come right back out of it and then get that mid above that high. It's happening now. All right. So when that happens, the pressure will come on. All right. That pressure will come on. I'm gonna make the candles bigger so you can see it. And again, with the downside, if you want to get that short, you would need this live candle while it's moving to get that midpoint below that low, and then it should go down. Now, the other thing you can look for is only three different things that's going to show up on the chart that represents majority. All right. Now that's one. This is one. The next thing you will look for is the wicks. You need the larger wick, smaller wick effect. All right. And then from there, you can get the smaller body, larger body. You just need this body to fit in there twice. All right. That's all of it. All right. So if you can get all of that together, then just fantastic. Now, when it comes to the trend, let me count that out for you. I'm going to compress the chart just a little bit so you can kind of get all of that. So this is one, that's two, that's three, that's four. Let's get me crosshairs here. And that's four, five, and that's six. So we only had six down. They turned around and they, commenced to going back up from below. Let me just kind of do that and then we'll get into that real time. From below, we have, let me get that arrow here. We got one, two, three, four, okay, five, six, and here's seven. They all must close higher. It's just like you and I, all right, the market. This is a decision place. So whenever you have a thought, you have the end in mind. You know how far you want to go and what you're willing to do to get it to work. All right. It's really simple. Don't make this stuff complicated. All right. So those are the three things that you're going to look for. You just learn trading. It's very simple. All right. And again, every bar has that threshold. So it can lean into this threshold. You just don't want them to close beneath it. Lean into the threshold and then take back off. That's all you will want to do. Personally, I like the green bar. I like the bar that has this going on. All right. I like the bar that has that going on. I just like that. All right. Be where the majority is. All right. It's really important that you do that. Be where the majority is. Can it happen off of any bar? Yes. You just saw it hit here. Now, when it comes to the majority, if you're not going to take out the trend distance, you can do it with the majority. All right. So you get the green bar and get both of those bars collectively. And that's saying that they will get at least here. All right. It's really simple. All right. So they're still capable of getting there. And even though they're leaning back a little bit, they're still on their way. All right. So let's put our threshold here, see if it would come here and then come back up and make that distance. All right. It may not want to make it. It may not want to make it down here. It may just turn back around. I thought that they would just lean under this and then come back up, but they just managed to go ahead and get straight to it, which is fine. That's what we expect anyway, for it to go up. All right. So here's the threshold here. They kind of pulled into that, came back out of it. I don't think it want to decline at this point. I think they want to leave this alone and just kind of go ahead and go to the upside. So we're expecting them to get here at 22.75. All right, so they're trying to do the majority to the downside. This bar will turn red. Now, if that's going to be the case, and they want to move down, don't break the red bar and go this far. All right, so that from the close to here. If it doesn't break this red bar, all right. So now, if we go with the colored bar, as I told you before, I like the colored bar preferably when it comes to the threshold. They didn't quite get there. All right, so they're making it. So they're here. Now they went past here, so they're not going to make that. So unfortunately, that didn't work. It would have gave you a little bit, but it just didn't want to work. So maybe they're going to come back and deal with this. All right, maybe they're going to deal with it. There's something going on here that I just don't too much care for. Those in my private community should know what it is. All right, so and that's saying that they can get this far. All right. So I do believe if they make this, yes, they're going to go through that as well. All right. So they're at the center of the chart. Can they turn around and go up? Yes, they can. But I'm going to be just quite frank with you. Let's see what they do with this. All right. So let's see what they, I know they shouldn't hold this. They shouldn't. But let's see. Let's see. We expect them to go even higher. We do. So let's see if they'll just get through this and go back up. But if not, yes, they'll come back down here. I told you there's something wrong with this down here as well. So let's see. Here's the colored bar. They're at the center of the chart. They're trying to respond. Now, the key thing with the price scale, this is something that's really important. I want you to know, you will never see the market turn without you. All right. So you're going to always witness it happening. All right. You're going to see it happening. So you don't have to look left. what's happening is in front of you. That bezel is in front of you. So you will never miss it. I can assure you, you will always see it as long as you don't blink too long. That's the most important part. Just don't blink too long, and you will witness the market do a cyclical turn. And this is pretty much what you can expect from the behavior should it want to make it. All right. So just use your bezel, divide it in half. Here's the midpoint. Here's the upper part of the scale, and here's the lower part of the scale. Now, will they turn from here? Will they turn from here and go down lower? They didn't make it here. Can they turn from here and go lower? Can they? They kind of got all of it here. This body can fit in there twice. The wick is big. There's no wick here. The mid is above the high. That's suggesting. And we're going to go with what it suggests. Remember, this is a decision place. That's all the market is. It's suggesting that it will go up here. Can it get past this threshold? Remember, this is a fluid event. All right, I just want to say that to you. So you would have to keep track of the market's activity and what it's suggesting as it does it. All right. You have to pick what works for you as far as risk. All right. I'm not here to do that. I'm here only to make mention to you what's important and what you should be identifying when the market is moving. All right. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They only need one more. So let's give an estimation as to what that would be. I do believe they'll definitely end up back up there. So it should be something to this effect. Let's kind of throw this here. I'm gonna just kind of estimate here. I'm not placing it exactly where it needs to be placed. I'm just sitting that there for now. All right. So let me just kind of do this. All right. So I'm estimating. All right. So that's saying. All right. So that's our seventh one here. That's saying that they can get this far. All right. So let's just take a look at that. I did tell you if they get past here, they should go past there. All right. I did tell you that they're almost at that distance. They pulled into our threshold. This is a 15-second chart. And unlike the other videos that I pretty much shoot, I'm using a 1 minute. So again, I told you that I would use a 15-second because I want to read it to you just a bit if you're new and you're trying to grasp how to look at charts. It doesn't matter the asset class. So even though we're looking at the NQ, it can be whatever market you prefer to trade, whether it's stocks, forex, futures. It does not matter. Crypto, you can trade whatever you want using what's universal. Universal means that it's applicable to all cases. So it doesn't matter the time frame. It doesn't matter the market. It's important that you utilize what's universal. That's really important. All right. So you don't want to limit yourself. You definitely want to participate based on the actual functions of the market. All right. Not some indicator, not some information someone told you. No. All right. I want you to listen to the market. That's what you're doing right now. You're currently listening to the market, not me. All right. I'm only making mention to you what is actually on the chart. All right. So that's all I'm doing to you. I'm putting an audible to what it is that you're seeing. All right. So I want to make sure that I express that to you. There's nothing significant going on. All right. It's really just that simple. All right. So it's indicating that's all it's doing that the midpoint fell beneath that low, but I guess it brought it back to even. I'm being real specific about that flash. All right. So when that comes on, I don't want it even. I want it beneath it, but it can still go. They went into the threshold. It can still do it if it wants to, and that'll put them here. All right. It just didn't turn red because I'm telling the indicator, the colored bars, I got levels, text, everything. I'm telling this indicator when it happens in real time, flash, but I need that mid to be below that low. All right. I want it below that low. All right. So that's the only reason, yeah, it made that. But let's go with the one that's going to actually turn red. All right, so let's go with that one because I want you to see that. And of course, it went right back into our threshold there. And so every day, we got to go with the close. Let's bring it up. Every day, you can get up and $99.21. All right, I just want you to think about that. That's $25,000 a year trading. $99.21 is all you need. Don't try to stay in the market forever. All right, don't do that. Remember the algorithms, the high frequency trading aspect of the market is done rapidly. So you need to kind of mimic the same if you want to have the same outcome. If you want to be just as profitable as, of course, prop firms and all these hedge funds and all of that, try to apply some of what they do. They enter and they exit quickly. All right. So try not to overstay your welcome. It's not to say you can't hold a trade. I'm clearly trying to make sure that you're able to identify what's on the market's mind. All right. So I want to show you how far potentially it can go. But for those of you that may have a smaller account, You're dealing with prop firms. You can't stay in trades too long because if it go this far and it comes back, that's the drawdown, essentially stopping you out twice. Because that's what I call it, stopping you out twice. Because you can be right, it comes back. Now all of a sudden you're penalized because it rotates. Well, let me help you with that and go ahead and let you know, hey, be like them. Don't overstay your welcome. Settle for a smaller target. Do that several times. You can see it. There's several times that it can happen. Do not overstay your welcome. You don't have to. Occasionally you will get hit. Okay, this is the market. You cannot just win every trade. You can't do that. It's a fluid event. It can change. All right, so they made this let's see, 4 times here. So we had this one here. That's one. That's two. Did I measure this one? Did they get past this one? I don't believe I even measured this one here, but they had this one as well. I don't know why I didn't measure this one for you. All right, so they had this one as well. Let's kind of put this here so you'll know that it made it. All right, so it made that one. That's one, two, three, four, and that's five. It made it 5 times to the downside. All right, so will it get here? So this is 99.75. All right, so that's 99.75. Will it get there? I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea. But let's see. Let me go grab our hourly. Hold on. Did we get our new? No, we didn't get our new high as of yet. All right, so I'm not going to stick around for that. I will not stick around for that. I'm going to see if they can give us just maybe one more push. All right, let's see. Can they get us one more push? Yeah, because they got to get through this low. The moment they get through this low, I would absolutely let you go because I did tell you, should they be able to get through here, they'll get through that low. All right, so I'm just trying to read it to you in real time. All right, so let's see if they can make it. All right, so and they did it again. That's right, they did it again here. It's kind of a back-to-back situation. They did this one. Okay. Now remember, we're at 5 currently, and I think this one will fall absolutely on that trend. All right, I think that'll fall right on that trend distance. Fairly close. That's pretty good. All right, so now what is that low? Let's go get that low to just ensure that it broke that low, and then I will absolutely let you go. Okay, so there's that low. Let me just kind of throw something here. All right, so there it goes. Okay, so it broke the low. All right, so it's really simple. Again, I don't want to overstay my welcome here. And again, I do appreciate each one of you who have stopped by the channel. Again, I'm trying to ensure that you guys are getting some information that's simple. You don't have to purchase anything from me, although I do have indicators if you want them. Again, there's people out here selling one indicator for $300. I got over 300 indicators I'll give to you for $100 if you want it. You have to see what it is that I'm trying to do in order to appreciate the fact that I'm here. uh, if you need education, some people can't afford professional grade education, so I've made available some of the information that I would share with most people for $500 if you want to be a part of it. All right, if you want to go with someone else, totally fine. I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm trying to teach you how to read the chart for free. All right, I want to make sure that you understand that you can just take the foundational principles here that's on the chart and begin to shape your destiny with trading. All right, if you want to become whatever you want to become. If you just want to be able to pay your bills, that's fine. That's great. That's what you should want to do if you're trading anyway. All right. But if you want to do something greater than that, then trading can do that as well. Should you shape the journey, you have to shape it. So some days you're going to have good days, some days may not have some good days, you may have some bad ones, but I want you to stay focused. Just keep implementing the same thing and you will inevitably reach your goal. The channel is not about any of this stuff. I want to say that to you. It's not about any of this stuff here. So when you get here, it's all about focusing. It's all about the content, the free information that you're going to have to implement when you trade, so you don't need distractions. All right, so every chart that you're seeing is of, well, every thumbnail you're seeing is of a chart that I actually went over. And yes, mostly all of the videos are in real time. All right, I want you to know that. No hindsight, no hindsight analysis. I'm not regurgitating other people's information here. Take a moment, digest what it is that I've been showing you thus far, and I wish you all the best with your trading. Take care.